It's time to wake up. It's time to realize that you can't just ignore these things. These things are happening right here in all of your backyard.
Tonight, surrogacy on trial. A West Michigan mother determined to change our state's anti-surrogacy stance.
For the 1 in 10 couples with fertility problems and for same-sex couples, surrogacy is sometimes their only chance for a biological child. But Michigan is just one of 3 states in the nation that still bans paid surrogacy.
And as Target 8 investigator Susan Samples discovered, even if you find someone willing to carry your biological child, that baby is still not legally yours.
The breathless search for a tiny beat of life.
I said 1 heartbeat for sure.
1 heartbeat confirmed, but there were 2 embryos, biologically the product of Will and Courtney Wells, created through IVF, then implanted into a very good friend.
Going through this, you know that you could get to the first ultrasound and one have a heartbeat, both have a heartbeat, or none at all.
Courtney Wells had almost given up on her dream of becoming a mom. Unable to carry a baby herself due to scar tissue related to a birth defect, Courtney and her husband Will were stunned and grateful when in 2016, a longtime friend, Tara Griesmer, offered to carry a baby for them.
She's amazing.
You're amazing.
Griesmer has 3 children of her own, a supportive husband, strong faith, and giving heart. At this first ultrasound, it was Griesmer herself who held the camera, determined to capture her friend's reactions.
Oh my gosh.
Guess we're buying for 2 now.
Fast forward 7 months to the moment the Grand Rapids Township couple and surrogate Tara had scaled mountains to reach. Will and Courtney Wells were about to become parents of twins, but not in the eyes of the state.
You're hit with, these babies don't belong to you. Now it's time for you to go visit an adoption agency. An adoption agency? What do you mean an adoption agency? They're my biological children.
It's crazy. It's backwards.
Grand Rapids family law attorney Melissa Neckers helps intended parents find a way to be named the legal parents upon their child's birth.
We are the worst.
The issue, Michigan law declares surrogacy contracts against public policy and not enforceable in court. You also aren't allowed to pay a surrogate except for covering medical expenses, or you could face felony charges.
We just need to get rid of that outdated law.
Today's ruling means beginning next week, she will be allowed to see the child 2 hours a week.
It's a law that can be traced back to the country's highest profile custody fight over the child known as Baby M. The New Jersey surrogate who carried Baby M in the mid-'80s decided she wanted to keep the baby. And the surrogacy broker who arranged that disastrous deal happened to be based in Dearborn, Michigan. Post-Baby M, Michigan became one of the first states in the nation to ban paid surrogacy. But that was 30 years ago when surrogates used their own eggs, like the Baby M case. Today, through medical advances, surrogates use the egg of the intended mother or a donor.
It just is a matter of the law not keeping up with the medical technology.
Not quite that simple, says Kent County Family Court Judge Kathleen Feeney.
Boy, you're treading on very thin ice, I think, when you're talking about having someone else carry your baby for you.
What happens if the fetus has abnormalities, asks Feeney, or the surrogate changes her mind? It's not enough, says Feeney, that all parties agree how to handle potential problems beforehand, nor that they have to pass medical and psychological screenings on the front end.
Because I've seen some of the things that should be very easy and very simple and become nightmares. Just overnight.
But what Feeney didn't know, a handful of Michigan judges are sparing intended parents the expense and stress of having to adopt their own biological children after birth. Melissa Neckers cites 30 cases across 11 counties where judges signed pre-birth orders designating the intended mom and dad as the legal parents upon the child's birth. No adoption needed.
In Michigan?
Actually, a pre-birth order was approved in Kent County.
Oh, okay.
The Kent County judge who signed that pre-birth order last year, Feeney's family court colleague Deborah McNabb, declined an interview with Target 8. The order McNabb signed was for a woman named Stephanie Trombley.
Hi. Hello. Come on in.
Are you Courtney?
I am.
I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Target 8 was there as Trombley met Courtney Wells for the first time. Both women, married and unable to carry their own children, turned to surrogates. Wells, her close friend Tara, and Trombley, her sister Olivia.
They both have twins. They're both in Kent County. Courtney had to adopt her biological children because it was Kent County and we were being told there's absolutely no judge who's ever going to sign this.
But in Trombley's case, Neckers decided to try for that pre-birth order and was thrilled when the judge they randomly drew, Deborah McNabb, signed the order, meaning the Trombleys would not have to adopt.
I'm super appreciative for what you guys went through in order for us to get to where we are, and I feel grateful that we didn't have to go through that.
I mean, it's offensive to have to adopt your own biological child.
It's also expensive. The Wells say they paid around $15 grand to an adoption agency that made regular visits to the Wells home over 6 months and required them to complete a 28-page questionnaire that asked at one point, why do you want to adopt these types of children? To which the Wells wrote, because there are biological children.
I had an adoption agency that was now starting a process to judge me and my husband, our lives, our past lives.
In the end, the adoption went through 6 months after the twins' birth. But the Wells aren't done. They're fighting now to change Michigan laws to make the path smoother for other childless couples.
Don't give up. If somebody tells you you can't carry a baby, it's not the end of the world. If you want a baby of your own, go get your baby because you deserve it. You deserve to be a mommy. And I am so lucky.
State Senator Rebecca Warren of Ann Arbor introduced a bill last year to legalize surrogacy in Michigan, paid or unpaid. The bill never made it out of committee, and Warren, now a representative, has not said if or when she plans to try again. The families you just heard from hope their voices will prompt change. I'm Target 8 investigator Susan Samples.